What's up, everyone? Back with another book review, if you can tell by the title. Today we're going to be taking a look at The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. Now, this book, by the title, you might be wondering why is it called The Invisible Library. Well, it takes place in this library that kind of allows these librarians to travel through time to different dimensions, as they call them. They can travel to a dimension that's in our time currently, or they can travel to one further in the future, or one really far in the past. And it takes place in London, so pretty much all of the worlds that are, or pretty much the only place that they go is London and possibly some other various parts in England. But it takes place in like Victorian era England, because there's like horses and carriages and stuff like that, or it's just starting to go from the horse and carriage era of London to sort of the motor car era of London, as that era, that time period. Women still wear dresses and stuff like that. And the library, the whole purpose of this library is to get books from each world and preserve them within this library, so they can, if a copy of that book is ever lost, they can just return that copy to the world, and it'll be like nothing ever happened. Which is an interesting concept, I think, to a book. And it's also the first book that I've read, anyways, that has a female main character. And what is her name? Her name is, it's been a while since I've read the book. What is her name? The book starts off with her name, Irene. But that's not her real name. But it says Irene is her name in the book, and she has later on in the book she gets a sidekick named Kai, or K-A-I. That's how you pronounce it. And they go to this alternate, they call them. They don't call them other dimensions. They call them alternates, which are alternate dimensions or alternate universes, pretty much of the same place where they are, London. It's just a different version of it, where slightly different things happen. So they have to find this book. It's like a murder mystery, kind of. And then the interesting thing is the library that Irene and Kay or Kai, I'm just going to call him Kay, are a part of it's interesting because the power in the library, if you are within it, you don't age at all and you don't heal. So in order to, if you get a cut or something, and within the library you have to go outside of the library to heal your wound, but then again you also age. So you can pretty much just stay within the library for as long as you want and not age or not get old. So that's a pretty interesting concept. It's a very good book. Very interesting book. Very lovely book. I couldn't put it down. It was slightly hard to get into, but 2 or 3 chapters in, it grips you very well, and you don't want to put it down. I always look at the spine of a book. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I look at the spine of a book, and if it's like all ripped up and tattered and torn like that, and look at the bottom, if it's all ripped up and torn and starting to wrinkle, then that's pretty much a sign of a good book, because you're always opening it and doing that and dog-earing the pages, and you kind of, sometimes it's unintentional, but to me that's the sign of a good book, because you're always reading it, you're holding it, and you can't put it down, so it rips and tears and stuff like that. So that's it's a good book to me. I would highly recommend reading The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Very, very good book. It's kind of a sci-fi book, which is what I'm into. Let's see, it costs $15 in the US and $20 in Canada. And it's actually fantasy, not sci-fi. I'm sorry. This is actually the first book that I've read that has the category of the book. If you look above the barcode, it says fantasy. That's the first book I've ever seen. I didn't even know it until now. But I would highly recommend it to anybody looking for a good read, either next summer or currently. I would wholeheartedly recommend The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful book to read. You won't want to put it down. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, happy reading.